A recent estimate reveals the U.S. is spending up to $451 billion a year on migrants.
Why can't we give people work permits? It costs nothing. It's a piece of paper.
How about we just enforce our own immigration laws that we currently have?
Our nation is built stronger by immigration.
We're more worried about what are we going to do for all these people from all around the world than we are our nation's veterans.
Don't tell me that there's just a few people that are creating the problem.
I find it cruel and inhumane for anyone to encourage illegal immigration.
If we care about immigrants, we should focus on legal immigration and helping the good people. But we must secure the border. I'm pro-immigration and pro-border security. You can be both at the same time. It blows my mind to see people encouraging people to cross illegally. Shame on you for playing politics with these people.
Well, Myra is the first female Mexican-born former member of the U.S. House of Representatives, and she says the American government needs to pay their own bills and take care of their own citizens. Now, Robert, a civil rights attorney in Atlanta, admits some people take advantage of the system, but just because a few people show up to the buffet with a plastic bag, you don't punish everybody. So, Myra, Robert, welcome. I agree with you, by the way. I am very much pro-immigration, but I'm not pro-open border.
Listen, I immigrated to this country as well, and I want every 6-year-old to have the same experience that I had whenever I came here to the United States. And what we're seeing right now is thousands and thousands of children and women that are being abused, raped, and this dangerous journey. So we should never encourage anyone to cross illegally into this country. We should focus on legal immigration. But the people of South Texas right now are very frustrated because they're living paycheck to paycheck. They're having to work 2 jobs just to barely make it. And they're seeing that our government is spending over $400 billion in housing and caring of illegal immigrants. But what about them? American citizens, they should be prioritized first and not be treated like second class. And we're not. We're first class. We're Americans.
Mm-hmm. And what do you mean when you say just a few bad actors are getting everybody punished on this?
We highlight individual cases, such as the video of someone saying, well, I'm living rent-free, or someone living in an apartment. And we say that that somehow paints 20 million individuals negatively. And in reality, we have to be looking at our elected officials and our Congress and our presidents to actually do something about the immigration crisis. The last time we've had actual immigration laws passed in America was 1986 under the Reagan administration. We had McCain-Kennedy in 2005 that Republicans walked away from. We had the Schumer Compromise in 2013 that Republicans walked away from. We had the Obama Compromise in 2015 the Republicans walked away from. We had the Durbin-Rubio bill in 2018, the famous S-whole countries comment the Republicans walked away from. We had the reconciliation bill in 2021 that did not get a single Republican vote. We had the Langford bill in January of this year that could not even get a floor vote. So when we talk about doing something about it, the question is, do we actually care, or is it just a good political issue?
Well, that's a great speech, but there's been 7 million people come across the border in the last 2 or 3 years, and that's more people population-wise than 36 states in America. So don't tell me that there's just a few people that are creating the problem.
Well, no.
What the hell are you talking about? And we're not taking a few people and painting them. They're the ones getting on the internet and blowing it up. I didn't go looking for that. These are people going on TikTok and blowing up the internet with these videos that are encouraging and teaching people how to get here. And the cartels are the ones that are incentivizing these people to get here, and they're showing up with indentured servitude because they got to pay off the bills once they're here. So you can name a bunch of acts that people have tried to peddle, and you know as well as I do, they're flawed. Every one of them is flawed, whether it's Democrat or Republican. You can oversimplify that and make a speech, but that doesn't change the fact that we've got people pouring across the border and we don't know who they are or where they're going.
But what exactly do you do about it? Simply putting this on the backs of the migrants who are fleeing, I don't think that's fair to the American dream, the American prosperity. If that's going to be the case, we have to have the same policy across the globe, not just for people who don't look like us.
How about we just enforce our own immigration laws that we currently have?
Exactly.
The administration has refused to allow Border Patrol agents to enforce the current laws. And that is a fact. So you want to talk about politics? They always use this issue to get Hispanics to vote for the Democrat Party.
We're sanctioning the breaking and entering of our country. We need to build the wall, force people to a point of entry, couple that with a reform on immigration so people can actually get through the process in a timely manner and not think that the best way forward is to break in. It is a fact that people are not all coming here for asylum. They make up less than 5% of the people that are coming. So everyone else is coming for all the freebies or because they have ill will toward our country or to bring drugs in or whatever other horrible things that they are trying to do. I think our open border serves as an organized attack on our citizens. Our homeless veterans have been most impacted by this migrant crisis. As a Marine Corps veteran wanting to defend my country, I defend fiercely veterans' rights every single day. When you look at your fellow brothers and sisters that are suffering, that are killing themselves, where homeless veterans are dying on the street, how in America do we let them be deprioritized behind anyone, let alone a non-citizen? We, the Republic, we will go quietly into the night if we don't fight back.
So what'd that razor wire set you back?
$300 or so, not the millions that they say it takes to patch the wall, about $300.
This is an issue that's obviously controversial. What moved you to want to go down there and do that?
Well, I help veterans every day. You know, we put $924 million in veterans' pockets of lifetime income last year. And the vets were saying, hey, you know, they're taking our spots in VA healthcare. There's been a 19% rise in veteran homelessness. And in going to research it, I realized they reallocated the VA HUD-VASH program, which is to house homeless veterans, and now it's being used to house migrants. And they say, Kate, we love you. You're running for Congress. You're doing all this good work. But what are you going to do about the border? And I saw a nightly program that showed thousands of immigrants coming around the end of the wall in San Diego. I said, how hard can it be to get some razor wire and just go down there and secure the border? And that's really, I did it on behalf of my fellow brothers and sisters that have served and to protect my own little son.
Yeah. And you say we have 33,000 homeless vets and 1.3 million at the brink. Right? And so every resource, every bit that we can bring to bear on this threshold issue is a big deal.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I mean, 33,000 homeless vets, that's literally sleeping on the street. You could fill some ballparks with just homeless veterans to give you the gravity of the situation. But the 1.3 at the brink are already sleeping in cars. That's why I try to put money in their pockets so that they have money. But how dare we as a nation be so cavalier with those funds that we are willing to import migrants into our country so that we can reallocate those funds meant for veterans to them.
You say there's been over 150,000 migrants seen in VA hospitals in the last few years.
I don't think anyone other than a veteran should be seen in that hospital. I'm a 100% disabled Marine Corps vet. My own family is not even going to get seen in a VA hospital. Why would we ever let anyone other than a veteran be seen there or claims to be processed? You have people dying. There's no continuity of care for their PTSD. 22 veterans a day kill themselves. 15 homeless vets die on the street per day. 85% of them go unclaimed, get put in the trash essentially. But we're more worried about what are we going to do for all these people from all around the world than we are our nation's veterans. And quite frankly, I find it disgusting and appalling, and I think the American people would agree with me.
Yeah. And Robert, you say America has never supported or taken care of its vets. I mean, you don't disagree with that. You just don't think it should be an either or.
You know, I find it interesting. We tend to pit the least of these against each other in this country. I believe that in a country we have an $878 billion military budget, that we should be able to care for our veterans. We should not have them having to fight back and forth for shelter space. Imagine you fought for this country, you sacrificed your life for this country, and you're fighting for shelter space. We need to have a system in place where we're putting forth the money that is necessary to give them the type of dignity that they deserve in their post-career, make sure they have the health care they deserve. But that's not the fault of migrants who are showing up. The kid showing up from Guatemala a week ago who was looking for a sandwich is not the person who's costing our military veterans their place and their dignity and their economic opportunities. There might be those $13 billion aircraft carriers we're building, the new $2 billion B-2. We can reallocate military budgets, as we do every single year, to ensure that our veterans are fully taken care of, and also take care of people who arrive here, and also have comprehensive immigration reform so we can solve the problem going forward.
Reallocating $1 of the actual active duty military budget that is supposed to give us readiness to go to war has nothing to do with the budget for the Veteran Benefit Administration. They're not even in the same bucket. Why would we steal one nickel of the funds from our active duty military to help anyone else who is not fighting for our country as well? And you are right, it isn't at the feet of the migrants, it's at the feet of the administration that would invite them here knowing they don't have a path to citizenship, knowing that when these funds run out and they get in office, no one's gonna help the 10 million people that came here, and they're gonna end up broken, poor, and homeless here too. And then the homeless industrial complex can come in and sweep all their funds too and do absolutely nothing. Wait for one more year till these migrants become more people on our streets, just like our veterans.
The reason we have a crisis right now is because of the administration's policies. So no. We have never had 8 million people cross illegally into our country. Okay, we've never had this. My husband is a Border Patrol agent. Okay, I'm a Border Patrol wife. I know what our Border Patrol agents go through every single day. Okay, we were getting 10,000 illegal crossings per day in South Texas. We didn't have the resources, the manpower. Our Border Patrol agents are exhausted.
Down here patching up the border today, and we always like to see what we can find. I'm holding a bunch of passports from different countries around the world. I got Pakistan, Ecuador, China. I got some Ethiopia. It's time that we wake up in our nation. We cannot turn a blind eye to the fact that people are getting across our border who have ill will toward us. A totally separate group of people for those seeking asylum, and we have to stop putting them in the same bucket because it is a massive national security risk.
Are you concerned at all that we have people coming across the border that their interests are not aligned with America?
I think we should have a concern about that, absolutely. And this is why my interest is in fixing the actual system, of putting in the actual legislation that is necessary so that we have a pathway to citizenship for individuals who want to come across legally. My mom came to America legally in 1982. She became a citizen in 2008. Because that's how long our system takes for people to gain legal status in this country.
That's terrible.
We have to put in place the types of reforms necessary. We need more immigration judges. We need more lawyers. We need to make sure we have enough courts so we can hear asylee claims in a reasonable period of time. But as long as it becomes a political football that we get to kick back and forth, we will continue to have no action on immigration since 1986. We've always had a group that we wanted to keep out, and never in history has the group that wanted to keep people out been the people we thought were the victors in the end.
America doesn't want anybody out. I'm from Mexico, okay? So we should always encourage people to come here legally. Do you know that how dangerous it is? So you support people crossing illegally into our country?
What I support
Do
is
you
the
support,
type,
yes or no?
I support the type of immigration reform
Okay, but do you
that I've been
support
talking about for the last several
But
minutes.
is it a
we
yes
have
or
to
no?
pass new laws in order for people to be able to do so.
Do you support people crossing illegally?
No, I want everyone to come here legally, just like my mother did.
Thank you. So we should always encourage legal immigration. That's why we need policies that encourage that. Right now, we have millions of people that are in line waiting for an opportunity to come here to the United States.
Well, the system is clearly broken when it takes 7 to 10 years to get a court date. I've always thought if maybe they'd take those 86,000 new IRS agents and turn them into